everybody.
Where are you at there, Vanek?
5, dude. 5.
Right in with us, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'm 7.
Pocket of death here.
It's a weird range. Like I'm not thrilled with, like, I feel like after Jefferson, McCaffrey, Chase, I feel like it's, or Tyreek in my opinion, it's like a random, like all the players I feel like are grouped together where like I don't see a huge difference in like Cooper Kupp versus Stephon Diggs just from a Matt Stafford perspective. Like if he plays a full season, yes, Cooper Kupp's probably going to be the number 1, maybe number 2 receiver in football, but he doesn't because it's age and everything. Then Cooper Kupp's just going to be like, what, wide receiver 7?
Pretty much. I mean, you're having to bank on Matthew Stafford. It's never like a great proposition you want to bank a top 3 pick on, but that's where we are in America.
It's just tough. Oh, okay.
Yeah. As soon as we see some Matt Stafford chucking the football, though, I think his ADP is going to start creeping up.
Yeah. I think he's doing an interview right now. I think I was scrolling through Twitter about a few minutes ago. He's doing something, talking, and I'm sure he's saying he's in the best shape of his life and that he can throw a football a country mile, because that's all that we're going to hear for the next 2 months.
I'm ready for the hype, dude. And I saw like they said like a couple days ago that Cooper Kupp had been playing tennis all off season and they're ready to rock and go. It's just funny that it's like, the elbow injury, and you talk about tennis elbow. He's like, elbow's fine, dude. Yeah. Backhand's been flying around all off season.
Sure you don't want to play pickleball first and kind of work your way up to tennis?
Dude, pickleball is so fun. I just got into it.
We were pumping up Austin Eckler beforehand, and look at that. He goes 102, Coop.
It's taken over the pickleball scene. My parents got a condo in Naples, and like there's a big battle going on there between the tennis people and the pickleball people. Oh man, it is it's hot drama. It's like a Seinfeld episode.
There's good people on both sides.
John and Pemba with the classic John and Pemba pick there. Austin Eckler, he was taking him first overall last year at times. So you got to give him his flowers on that, because he was doing it before it was cool. Last year he was taking Eckler ahead of John, especially full PPR, ahead of Jonathan Taylor, ahead of a lot of these other guys. So he's coming out, dude, pulling punches again. What do you think about that? Austin Eckler, first RB off the board in full PPR, Jordan.
I'm not a fan because I still think they added that running back room. There's a few teams right now that like people expected. I mean, he's one holding out. And then the second thing is like Kellen Moore has shown throughout his coaching career that he will find a goal line back and just use the goal line back. Like he will not he didn't let Tony Pollard handle any of those. Not that Eckler can't get it done in the red zone, but like I think that we still have Fournette out there. We still have Zeke out there. We still have guys that could just clod their way into 600 yards and 8 touchdowns just because Kellen Moore can find it. And then there's also backfields where I see cuts happening and then them being guys that get added, similar to what we saw when the Jaguars cut Carlos Hyde, I believe, a few years back. And then he became on the Chiefs or the Texans, I think it was, and then just had like 200 carries. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Dalvin Cook enters into Miami, they keep all their running backs and then cut like Jeff Wilson or Raheem Mostert, and then one of them end up on these backfields.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams right now when I look around that need to make a bunch of cuts at certain positions where they just they stacked it. It's like you ever do a pottery class where you just like stack it all up and then you have to cut a bunch of it away. That's the Giants you mentioned. They have 14. Like that is a big ball of wide receiver clay over there in New York, and they need to cut away.
Chicago Bears tight ends from a couple years ago.
Exactly. They need to cut a good amount of that away. I saw a report Sterling Shepard is out there healthy running around. So, maybe he'll be in the mix. But I mean, 14 guys on that roster at this moment. So and 8 of them are slot guys. Are they really going to keep Sterling Shepard, Paris Campbell, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jamison Crowder?
They can't,
and that's just at the slot. Like outside, they already have Darren Waller, and then outside it's like Jalen Hyatt, Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, and those are the guys we know the names of. They still have the other guys that were filling in, like the guy Collins. They have David Sills,
Colin Johnson still puttering around there.
Colin Johnson, Colin Johnson, David Sales. I think they're both on the roster still, so pretty loaded up there. This ADP is quite a bit different than
very different
Underdog. I've noticed.
I just saw someone that is ADP is 25, and I am very surprised.
Yeah. I was looking at it. I was like, where's Stephon Diggs? When I was picking, it like scared me a little bit. I was like, why is he down here? Yeah. I just took him anyway. But I was like, what the heck's going on here?
What do we do? There he is.
There he is. Yeah.
That's ADP 25 going 11th overall.
Yeah.
Voiko. Very interesting to say.
Voiko's been doing a bunch of the underdog drafts with us, so he's not going to get fooled by this one.
Nice. The underdog, I love the format.
There we go. John and Pemba in the chat got his boy Eckler. And then, of course, there we go. Scott Frankel happy to get CMC with this second pick. And Scott Frankel, one of the main reasons that we're doing this draft, he's a Vegas boy himself. And Vegas, very particular about the gambling they allow over there. So,
yeah, Florida is as well. It's not so
of course.
Well, in North Dakota, maybe we'll join you guys in 2 decades.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. There's a couple guys here that I think this format really, really helps. Some guys that I wouldn't necessarily take on Underdog, but in this I would. I'm interested to see where they go.
I am as well. There's a few receivers on the way back that I'll say receiver. I don't know why is Dalvin Cook so high. I just saw that.
Crazy, dude.
Dalvin Cook was higher than Bijan. That's
the boomer ADP.
That is very. This feels like a ESPN fantasy draft right now.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's a little bit wonky. The thing is, though, Dalvin Cook. There's 2 names, Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon. If they don't get cut, don't get moved, and with Dalvin Cook, so we talk about I talked about the post June 1. Anyone that isn't necessarily familiar or didn't really pick up what we were saying there is that there's a rule in the NFL. If you cut guys after June 1, you get to spread the cap hit over the next 2 years. So it helps you for this year. If you cut them before that, then the entire cap hit counts for 2023. So you can cut guys after June 1. It counts for 23 and 24. So the people were suggesting that maybe they were waiting for that date, but the Vikings actually cut Adam Thielen, and they could have designated him as a post June 1 cut and got that advantage, and they didn't do it. So for me, I don't think it boils down to a contract thing. I think maybe they're wondering if they can trade him still. What do you think, Jordan? I mean, so if you trade guys after June 1, you get that benefit. You can't do like a June 1 designation trade in advance, though. So you have to wait. Yeah. Do you think that's probably what's going on there?
Yeah, I think they're going to attempt to do that. There was actually a picture that circulated. He was wearing a Miami Dolphins workout shirt, and recently he actually has the same trainer as Tua Tagovailoa. So I don't think I don't know if there's going to be a market for him unless guys start really getting hurt. It's not likely considering we're going to be in the summer. So if I'm the Vikings, I think it's just time to move on. I think he gets cut after June 1st because it's going to be apparent that there's no market for him, and they have no reason to keep him on this roster. And they're just going to be holding out until that date because maybe someone wants him, but I've heard good things from A-Chain. I've heard things from obviously Mostert and Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson are guys that Mike McDaniel loves. So yeah. I don't think the Dolphins are going to bite on that.
Sorry to interrupt, but Kev, are you ready for what I'm about to do? Are you ready?
Just do it.
Yes. Wow. 30-13.
Okay, that was not who I mean, it makes sense given the format, but considering
this format, I have never drafted this player actually I do have him in a dynasty league that I've been trying to sell him, but everyone in the league reads all the articles where I bash him. So I just can't get
Tyler Boyd. Yeah.
He is fancy Tyler Boyd, but in this format with everyone suspended, he has one more year of being fancy Tyler Boyd. I mean, we forget Tyler Boyd got 148 targets in 2019 before they brought in the real wide receivers. So I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown has at least another year of that, even if, he needs 150 targets to have 1,100 yards or whatever he had. I think he, when you get a full point for every reception, I don't care if they're a bunch of dump downs to a guy who's not particularly fast or big. So I'll take Amon-Ra in this format at that spot, and that will be about it for my shares of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Just get in early, get it now. You're good to go.
Get it in. Now I have him. We can root for him a little bit. It's just, I don't know. He's not super exciting to me. But hey, you know what? As of right now, he's looking like he's going to be the best 4th round wide receiver of the last 25 years. Right now, the best one is essentially Jamison Crowder. I guess was Brandon Marshall within the last 25 years? Maybe Brandon Marshall if he's within that span. Yeah. Okay. So then Brandon Marshall. So maybe he's got a long way to go.
I think like 06 or 07.
The second best after Brandon Marshall.
I do not know which one I want to go here. I'll go with the division.
There you go, dude. Rhamondre, baby.
I'm a big Rhamondre guy for this upcoming year. His ADP is very low, but I was like, I just would take him here in most drafts.
There was a lot of smoke about them drafting a running back. People said they love Bijan and that they, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bill O'Brien connection, and they brought in Kendre Miller for multiple visits, and then they didn't. So, What are you gonna do?
Yeah, they brought in James Robinson, and he might not even make the 53-man roster per the Athletic. So.
That would be crazy because they gave him a 2-year deal. I know it's not like full, it's not loaded up with guaranteed money, but
no,
it's kind of interesting. 2-year deal and they just cut him. They just wanted to figure out what's going on with the Jets.
Pretty much.
Classic Intel contract. What are they doing over there? All right, see you later.
Even though the offensive coordinator when he was there is no longer there.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
What are they doing on defense?
Yeah, well, that's why they're gonna cut him, because they just were like, all right, we can just watch old Packers film now and figure out what we're doing.
I actually think Rhamondre will be, stays healthy for a full year. Running back position's really weak. He's probably one of the few that could see like north of 270 touches. Like there's so many committees right now, and obviously some of them will not end up being committees, but it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah. Now, to the two guys back to back there, Rhamondre and Josh Jacobs. Last year, I was off both those players. I honestly thought they were going to do split backfields, both teams, because that Erhardt Perkins system for the last 20 years or so has been that way. And you know what? They really didn't do it. Ty Montgomery did get a few targets week 1 before he got hurt, but I'm not sure. I think Mondre showed enough that he's a full-time guy. So Mondre and Jacobs, for me, both those guys, I'm fully on board with taking them in the second round.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien's a big reason why I'm fine with it. I remember how many touches he was giving guys like Lamar Miller, David Johnson when he was trading him for, DeAndre Hopkins, or trading DeAndre Hopkins for him and stuff like that. So I think that the touches will be there for Rhamondre to be very, very good at the running back position, just because of the way the whole position is as a whole. I can't believe the running back I was going to pick last round is going to be there. No, never mind. 3 picks.
You're going to take Dalvin?
No. I'm just out here playing the hits with Jalen Hurts, the first quarterback off the board.
I like that. Now, speaking of like split backfields, I want to ask you quick. Do you think Tony Pollard's in line for the full role this time around? Do you think you think week 1 there's a pass interference in the end zone, they send down Tony Pollard to plunge it in, or do you think they're going to find something? Do you think Drake's going to come back from Cabo and say he'll play for $2 million? Like, what do you think's going to go on there?
I am terrified of all the running backs that are still not signed.
I know, man.
Kareem Hunt can sign there. Leonard Fournette, Zeke can still sign back to the Cowboys because of just the availability of the running back position. So until I'm going to be staying away at his ADP right now, just because I don't see myself being in love with it. Like, he's going at where, he should be. Or second round running back, he still has a high upside, but I don't want to take that over some guys that I know are guaranteed touches. In particular, for me, the team that I think is going to be running the ball plenty, Pittsburgh Steelers, like Najee. The touches are there, and they added to the offensive line. Like, they went into this offseason and actually addressed that area of the field. And I know the playbook and offensive play calling is not great with Canada, but he also hasn't had an offensive line. So hopefully the Georgia kid is what he's supposed to be. They brought in the guy from the Eagles, like Suomelo, and I know he can run block. He's not a great pass blocker, so give Najee a healthy season because he hurt his foot and wasn't healthy last year, and give him 280 touches, see what happens.
Yeah, love it. So Jerry, who is Coltastic on this chart, he's drafting from Hawaii. He just took the guy I was hoping might sneak back to be a guy that I almost took last round in Josh Allen. If I would almost just went Diggs, Josh Allen stack, but I don't know. I wanted to get one ARSB on the Bucks. So good job, Jerry.
Coop, what are you doing here? Are you like ideological by osmosis here, being right next to me in the draft, or what's going on?
I'm just, it's the yellow. Something about the yellow on here really pops compared to the underdog. Yeah, the underdog is more like an orange. I feel like the yellow here
that's a hangover.
Yeah, it's aesthetically pleasing. So I had the full PPR, and I didn't want to. I'm looking at these running backs. I don't know, and I wasn't going to go tight end. I thought about Joe Burrow, but in this format, I'm gonna try and get somebody mobile. We'll see what's left later on.
Yeah. But still, I mean, yeah, I'm liking Cup, Waddle, Olave as far as top 3, and then we'll see if I want to go fully into the running back dead zone is not really a thing. So it makes it a little bit easier now. It's just doing it so early into the offseason in May. Obviously, you have less information to do a 0 RB start or anything like that. So that's maybe why I'm kind of pausing a little bit. Maybe I'll consider a running back a little bit earlier than I typically would, but it's really just the information. It's not all there. We'll know a lot more in July, August, obviously.
Now Jordan, Breece Hall so I took Keenan Allen there, but I was thinking about Breece Hall there. Are you finding yourself taking him at all at this point, or are you kind of just more of a wait and see, or holding to see what happens later on?
I am still waiting to see what's going to be happening. I've seen a lot of reports from people who are doctors through Twitter that tell me that he's going to be totally fine. We'll see. I mean, I saw Adrian Peterson do it and just be totally okay and run for as many yards as he did. I saw Saquon not look good. So, It's, ACL tears. Some guys recover well, some guys don't. I know that people who are in the medical industry can make educated guesses on this, but they usually don't have 100% certainty with a lot of these guys. And until I see Breece Hall on a field, even if it's a preseason game, I just want to see him run hard, have a play or two where he's out there until I can actually buy into it. I do like him for best ball when I'm getting to Cleveland stacks because they play in week 17, and I love the Cleveland wide receiver Amari Cooper this year. I am
me too
huge on him just because of that full off season, and they are going to get one of the highest share or percentages of single high coverage, which Amari Cooper averaged over 2.9 yards, which is higher than Jamar Chase against it, and he did it with half the season of Brissett and 6 games of Watson just being washed.
Now, Jordan, while you're talking about that, his numbers versus single high coverage, I mentioned earlier, why don't you give a quick plug for the Edge? Because I've been messing around with this tool. First of all, I can't believe it's free. Is it always gonna be free, or are you guys gonna take that away? Are you rug pulling us? Are you gonna rug pull us, dude?
I think we might rug pull you. I don't know what exactly is going to be free from that, but I do believe August we'll see the change. We'll see what's going on.
Everybody get in there now and download this entire tool. Yeah, just steal it, whatever's going on, whatever you can do, just record whatever you can.
Right. But print screen, you're good to go.
Tell the people I'm sure that they're gonna run over and check it out after this, but tell the people what you can do with this tool. A couple of things that I've seen and I've done, there's a number of things I've done on there that I use in my articles, and I obviously shout you guys out, but that you can't do anywhere else.
Yeah. So with the Edge, me, Larky, and Ryan Reynolds last off season met Sports Info Solutions. We're the people that put it together, but it's basically backed by their data, and you can go to a receiver and see what his numbers are against man coverage. You can see what his numbers are against zone coverage. You can go and just look through how efficient they are, or if you want to go the way that I look, single high coverage is technically cover 0, 1, or cover 3, which is just either single high or nobody back there. And then you can go 2 high, which is cover 2 man. Cover 2, cover 4 is the way that I would label it. And just look through, see who's getting the target share, see who's getting some of these certain things, because what I'll be doing during the season is providing who's playing these coverages. Oh, hold on. I have one pick. Nice. I didn't think he was going to fall to me. I'll just take 3 running backs and be fine. But
Yeah.
I was gonna.
So yeah,
That's a good full PPR pick right there.
Yeah, so this offseason I was actually really mad that Calvin Ridley went, and I was hoping to get those two paired. But when it comes to like this offseason, one thing that I've found that's been useful is splitting the coverages up into single high and 2 high. And what I've noticed, there's been like 4 receivers in the last 5 years to get over 30% target share against both. Every single one of them showed signs of being elite against these coverages prior. Like, for example, Justin Jefferson has never not had over a 30% target share against single high, meaning when they see one safety back there, they know they're just going to Jefferson. Yeah. And he put up elite numbers. A.J. Brown, same thing. This is the first time he went to an offense that was going to see it a ton alongside a team that threw it a ton this past season. So I've been able to find some things. I got some things in the works for guys like Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley. Well, I think that they'll have the years that we saw from like Tyreek Hill or Jefferson, or better years than guys that are getting drafted ahead of them.
Excellent, dude. Kev, I just noticed that you drafted Chris Godwin, and you also just wrote an article on Chris Godwin that people can find over at fantasyalarm.com. Kev, why don't you give us some of the key notes from that article and why you're grabbing Godwin in a lot of places?
Yeah, so we've seen, when he's healthy, obviously the dude's a stud. I'm not super worried about Baker Mayfield. Chris Godwin's ADOT has been a lot shorter the last couple years, but I think with the ACL injury, you can build a little bit of an excuse for that. But if Baker Mayfield, now they've got the offensive coordinator Canales, who came over from Seattle, the quarterback's coach Idzik. So I think there's still going to be some volume there with Tampa Bay. They did add Cody Mauch as far as an offensive lineman.
Love Cody Mauch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that dude with the gap tooth front teeth. I mean,
legendary, dude. And the flowing red hair, dude. Like, he is the best, bro.
From North Dakota State, by the way, boots on the ground. So, yeah, I do still think they're not just going to turn into a run first team. So I do like Chris Godwin. I think he's, certainly underpriced right now by the entire market. I think he's going to be on the fringes of the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, but where he's going right now, I think on Underdog, wide receiver 29. I think I took him at about wide receiver 24 here. Still think it's a good value, especially a full PPR.
Bingo. Yeah, that guy Cody Mauch, if you haven't checked him out, like, he should be it's the battle between him and Creed Humphrey. When you search linemen, their picture should come up. Like, this should be the picture. Like, I'm pulling for this guy. So he's got the look, and the other guy that I like, the center that was drafted, Juice Scruggs. You're not going to get a better lineman name than Juice Scruggs.
I like how he plays center too. That's just that sounds like a center.
Beautiful, dude. Yeah, exactly. Like Creed Humphrey is a center. He always was.
That dude looks like a guy who would be named Creed Humphrey too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you see him on the Kelsey podcast?
No, I didn't. Was he good?
They were talking what fictional or TV characters would they be like if they were, in TV, and they had like Kelsey as Joey. I forgot who they had Creed Humphrey as, but it was absolutely hilarious.
My God, yeah. They're unbelievable, dude. Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey would be like Pigpen from the Charlie Brown. Just the dirt clouds coming off.
He'd be Andy Dwyer living in the pit.
You live in the pit, dude. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Too good, dude. But and the thing is, he's awesome. Like, he might be the best center in the league. He's up there, right? Yeah.
People undervalue. Like, I was surprised he fell as far as he did in the draft. That Oklahoma offensive line was nasty during that period of time, because if you go back to that Rose Bowl game, Baker, like that year in general, I think 2018 or 2019, you got to see Baker, CeeDee Lamb, Hollywood Brown versus Georgia, who had like McCole Hardman, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, DeAndre Swift. Creed Humphrey was like a freshman starting against Georgia and demolishing them. I think their running back, like Rodney Adams, or I can't think of his name, he ran for like 200 yards against Georgia, which is crazy. Damn. Wow, I did not expect James Cook to go this high. Interesting.
Yeah. That's the thing about like the alignment in the offensive draft. It's almost like they pull out that measuring tape and measure your arms. And, if they're not the exact length that they want, they just say, oh, you're a guard now and nobody wants you. And then every year, some team gets a crazy discount on like an Elijah Vera Tucker or somebody like that, right? Just like... Yeah, you just get a great player, right? That can play tackle in a pinch, but it's just an awesome guard too. It's just like, when are we going to figure it out? That you just should draft good players and not worry too much about the upside. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, Broderick Jones has high upside, but I worry because if he doesn't hit, you're not going to be able to find a spot for that guy, right?
Yep.
But on the flip side, I've seen some clips of him when he gets out wide, like when he can pull as a tackle, it's like Trent Williams stuff, right? Like he's out there steamrolling guys. So the upside is crazy, of course, but I don't know. The downside, we'll have to see.
Agreed.
Yep.
Interesting. This is an interesting range. Might just not yet.
Not yet. Oh, I want to know who that was about.
I'm doing a little sweating right now.
There's a number of players that I like this. Maybe it's the ADP, but there's a number of players here that I like just as much as half the guys that are already on my team, if not more.
I tweeted this guy out today. I'll just take him. That's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
I made a tweet, so it's important that I follow when I tweet.
Stay on brand.
I almost picked Kyle Pitts. That was the person I was like, no, that wasn't the not yet. There was another tight end.
Jerk, Kevin.
I was thinking about Kyle Pitts.
How dare you? There's a player here that's not that great in this format. I'm just gonna take a quarterback here. So yeah, there's another guy. When he goes off the board, I want to discuss him because I do like him, especially on underdog, but in this format, I'm not super duper sold on him. But I know we got a number of family members watching the drafting with us, so I don't want to give any spoilers. Nobody likes that guy that says I would have drafted this guy, but he sucks, right? Like, let's wait for people to get drafted and we'll talk about him. Dallas Goedert there. Goddard to me, and George Kittle as well, they seem like in best ball, obviously good players. In regular redraft leagues, 10 to 12 team leagues where you're going to start one tight end, just the fact that with Goddard, clearly there are two guys that get more targets than him, right? When he was healthy, Devonta Smith was getting 7.7 targets per game, and A.J. Brown was getting 8, and he was getting like 5.6. So there's clearly a pecking order there. I worry not so much about his ability to be a tight end one. I think he easily can be, but I worry about his upside a little bit. I asked a poll on Twitter the other day. I said, which would you rather have? A guy you could guarantee is tight end 6 to 8, or a guy whose range of outcomes is 2 to 20? And it was decidedly that people wanted the 2 to 20 guy. Yet I continue to see a guy like Dallas Goedert getting picked where he's getting picked right now. I mean, what are your thoughts on that situation? Obviously, if any wide receiver gets hurt, now he does have upside to be like tight end 2 or 3. But I just feel like if they're going to have 2 wide receivers that are studs and a tight end that's a stud, then whoever has Jalen Hurts wins the league. Vanek, where are you on that? I mean, like, are you drafting Goddard? In best ball, it's different, but in a regular redraft league, are you sitting there and saying he's my guy?
No, and the reason is because I think that they're going to have a good run game, and like why that matters is if they have a good run game, then they're going to bring a safety into the box. Once they bring that safety down, they're going to run the offense the way they did last year, where it's A.J. Brown one-on-one on the sidelines or Devonta Smith one-on-one on the sidelines. Jalen Hurts is going to look at the safety, see where he goes, and throw it the other way. They're not. It's not that Dallas Goedert won't be used. It's just the style of play with what they have, because I think they're going to run the ball effectively, is going to keep them like from targeting the tight end often. I want a team like, has he been drafted yet? Yeah. TJ Hawkinson. Like, I know TJ Hawkinson went extremely high in this draft. I think that dude's getting 120 targets because they're going to throw the ball 600 times because they don't, if they cut Dalvin Cook, no run game. And then they're looking at an offense that is going to throw in, comes from a team where when Kevin O'Connell was last with the Rams, they went ahead and took Matt Stafford and they said, no, we're not going to throw the ball at all. We're just going to throw it or run the ball at all. We're going to throw it every single play. So there's a few spots that I like my tight ends to be. I would rather have Pat Freiermuth over Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Freiermuth. I was talking earlier about a. Hold on, I gotta make my pick. I'm reaching down the board a little bit to take a guy I think is going to be pretty good in this particular format, the full PPR format.
I felt Dan Malin snipe in my soul, by the way, with Jordan Addison. I was
gotcha. I know you've been getting him in every one of these drafts, dude. Yeah. So when I was talking about earlier, I looked at all the running backs with I sorted it by 2-minute drill. I set it to 3 minutes so we could get the minute before the 2-minute warning in the second quarter, fourth quarter, and overtime. I also looked at tight ends. Pat Freiermuth led all players in targets in those scenarios, not just wide receivers, not all players, man. So like when push came to shove last year and the Steelers were in a situation where it was tied or they were trailing by 2 touchdowns or less, they were going after Muth, man. I was a little surprised by that because, you look at the target, Deontay Johnson had 147 targets. Everyone loves George Pickens, but he was the guy in those situations. So it'll be interesting to see how those targets shake out. Jordan, are you at all ever drafting Kenny Pickett? Because, everyone likes, when we look at the ADPs for Deontay Johnson and George Pickens and for Freiermuth, either those are wrong or the ADP for Pickett is wrong. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm not getting the Pickett just because I just feel like near that red zone, it's going to be a lot of Najee. It just feels like that's just what Mike Tomlin's like, running the ball and protecting your second-year quarterback and not putting him in spots where he can create turnovers. Like Mike Tomlin's the king at being over 500, and those are the reasons why. Like he sticks to what we're supposed to do. We're not getting crazy. I think that George Pickens, I know Matt Harmon just posted a lot about how inefficient he was as a receiver and how he wasn't really winning on a lot of different things. I feel the way that I view George Pickens, I think that the offense with Matt Canada was just atrocious. Like he just put him in a lot.
Well, Matt Canada's still there, right?
Yeah. No, it is. But Matt Canada's offense won't work with a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
Just furious because he's just an angry type of dude.
Bruce B on the clock, and Bruce B said that he also felt very much sniped with Addison. So you're not alone, Kev. A lot of us feeling good about Addison. Yeah, the thing with Najee is that, like, I look at the quotes from the running back coach, Eddie Faulkner, and it's so funny because, like, last year everyone was like, Najee was like, yeah, they're going to use me less and kind of, cut down on my workload. And Eddie Faulkner was like, this guy's the best guy in the world and easily in the room, and we want to use him on every play, but we're going to have to use other guys. It's like when I see the coach talk like that, I'm like, that's a player I want, where the coach is like, he doesn't want to wear out his favorite, his favorite pair of shoes. So he's wearing these other ones, but he wants to wear those every day, So like, that's the running back I want. I want Eddie Faulkner to be like, we have to save him for special occasions, right? But like, we know those occasions are red zone and 2-minute drill and all the high leverage occasions for fantasy football. So that's the guy I want. I know Jaylen Warren's picking up a little bit of steam, and I'm not sure I really get it. Are you guys in on that? No. People seem to like him, man.
Yeah. No, he was.
Well, I don't know how. Time out, real quick. Hey, family members out there in this draft and watching the show. I don't know how you just let Jordan Vanek get the player that he told you that he wanted to get. Like, what are you guys doing on that side of the board? Me and Kevin are on this side of the board. You guys what are you doing, dude? What are you guys doing down there? He literally just told you he was going to take that player. What's going on?
Hey, they like me.
They have, apparently, dude. You have special guest treatment, dude. That's not the family I know. My hashtag family members are ruthless and cutthroat. What's going on, dude?
That's fine. Maybe they just don't like what I'm saying. They just don't believe that I think I had a tweet earlier this offseason about Kenny Pickett in particular post Chase Claypool trade. He targeted George Pickens on like 27% of his attempts or something crazy. where he out-targeted Deontay Johnson and George Pickens by a good margin. I'm thinking, well, this guy's playing again. Like, I don't think teams are going to key in on Pat Freiermuth because its target's like 6 yards down the field. It's that like Heath Miller feel where he's going to get you an 8-yard catch and extend it to 9 yards. Like, I am getting 1 yard extra for you. That
Hell
Jason Witten year.
I was going to say Jason Witten.
Yeah. Jason Witten was like
hurts.
Jason Witten was literally like Sasquatch. Like, I've never seen somebody hiding in plain sight more than Jason. Like, he's not fast. He's massive. He's got a star on his helmet. Why was he always open on third down? Why he was always open? And Bruce B taking my player Chig Okonkwo instead of Pat Freiermuth. I appreciate you, Bruce, dude. That's what happened there. Unbelievable.
Chig is good. I have no problem with him by any means. I think outside of him and Treylon Burks, there's nobody draftable. Like, sorry, at the receiver position. Or
agreed.
Pass catching.
That environment is a bit scary. But
miss me with that Kyle Phillips business. Right?
Yeah,
are you Kyle Phillips, dude? No, dude,
I think Treylon Burks is. Well, this one he actually doesn't go as late as he normally does. That's why I took him, because like I feel like in best ball, like UD ADP. He's going as like wide receiver 40 off the board or 45 or something crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Treylon Burks, when he got targeted, he was good. He just didn't have Ryan Tannehill. And when Malik Willis went out there, Vrabel's like, you're never throwing. I'm just never letting you do it.
Yeah, he literally had he had that like hat or shirt, or no, it might have been a mask during COVID that was just like, it just said give the ball to Derrick Henry, right? So wait, Scott Frankel, good point. I guess Mpemba would rather have 3 QBs instead of a tight end. What do you think about Mpemba's build right now? He's the third pick in this draft, and he took 2 incredibly mobile QBs, great picks there. I'm wondering if maybe the Wi-Fi ran out of the beach where he's at right now, because he also took Kirk Cousins. I don't know. How you guys feeling about that?
He had to have been. I can't. You take a right quarterback in the second round. I'm not taking my next quarterback until I'm staring at Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Max Jones. Like, I can't double up on a quarterback with any like 2 early picks.
Yeah. So, okay, I just made a pick here. Kev, I want to ask you about this because you and I have been in agreement for a while now that talent-wise, there's 3 parts of tight end upside: talent, scheme, and opportunity. Talent-wise, we've never really liked Dalton Schultz. You know, he's kind of a Austin Hooper-esque player. In fact, on Player Profiler, his best comparable player is Austin Hooper. But in this particular situation, there's really ambiguous target pecking order, right? Everyone in the world, obviously, we're all rooting for John Mechie. Like, he's the easiest player in the world to root for right now, right? Nico Collins could be a Kenny Golladay type guy. Robert Woods, we've seen him be pretty solid, but I mean, it's anyone's game. It could be, and Dalton Schultz is in that mix. It could be any one of those guys. That's why I took Dalton Schultz there, kind of leaning into uncertainty a bit. Are you doing that at all, Kev? I mean, where are you at with Schultz?
I don't think I've actually drafted Schultz. I think I'm taking my stabs much later on the wide receivers there, but I can see the upside there for Schultz just because there's no clear, number one in the pecking order. I mean, I guess if you're looking out of the gate, it's Nico Collins, but anything can certainly happen if whether it's Mechie or whether it's Tank Dell, whether it's the ghost of Robert Woods. So,
who's the first wide receiver off the board for this team?
It's Nico.
It's Nico at pick 166, which is like tomorrow.
I can't do that.
Toronto Dave in the chat. Shout out Toronto area. What's up, brother? Yeah, no, I can't. I don't know. Are you doing okay, Jordan? You have to pick one.
Yeah.
ADP. Let's say ADP be damned. You have to pick one. Who you got?
I'm going Tank Dell.
Whoa. Okay, dude.
It's not even for me. Mechie, I hope he's okay. I'll have to see it. But
yeah,
the one thing that Ohio State quarterbacks in particular, not that I'm trying to, like, Justin Fields is great for fantasy and everything. He does not throw into tight windows. He refuses to throw in any contested catch situation. Stroud did the same thing in college. It was very, very, it was great throws, most of the time guys getting the ball down the field were open because his receivers were loaded. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a quarterback that wants to take care of the ball and do certain things like that. With the Texans, like Nico Collins isn't getting separation. He just that's not who his that's not who he is. That's not who his game is. And got the chance to go to the Senior Bowl. Got the chance to see Tank Dell in person. Yes, he is small. That dude gets open like nobody else. Like he has so much like burst, so many different releases, so many different abilities to like get in and out of breaks. Is he small? Of course. But at the end of the day, watch Hollywood Brown. Be fine. Be 1,000-yard receiver in a Greg Roman offense. Like, I think Tank Dell can be fine in Houston considering where he's getting drafted.
So, okay, I got to ask you this, and it has nothing to do with, I should be asking you about the Senior Bowl and all that, which we will get to. But how do they decide who gets to go by their nickname and who doesn't on what platforms? Because I know his name is Nathaniel Dell, and the other guy, Tank Bigsby, his name is Cartavius Bigsby. Yeah. Neither one of them's real name is Tank, but on this app, Tank Dell is Nathaniel Dell, but Cartavius Bigsby is Tank Bigsby. So what's the deal with that? I mean, come on.
When they fill out their information for NFL and stuff like that, they get to write whatever name they want. They don't have to use
and they get it. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, like, Robbie Anderson just kind of writes whatever in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a story. Basically, one of the companies that I work for, we were informed that we had to change Gabe Davis's name because we had it as Gabriel, and he wants Gabe. So we had to change it to Gabe because his agent was upset that it was Gabriel, which is just how things operate. When
his agent was upset
the same way, you could just like your Twitter username, Cooper. All right,
that's right, dude. Coop A Fiasco. People are I was gonna change it. The thing is, I was gonna change it, and Howard was like, "Don't change it." He's like, "I like it." And then like I changed my profile pic one time, and people were like protesting, dude. They were like, dude, everyone was, dude. I just changed it to a picture of me.
Cool in that picture, dude. You had glasses on.
People don't like it, dude. Cool, dude. They don't like it, dude. They're coming in and they're like I would just post like a stat about anybody, and someone would just be like, "Bring back purple guy."
That was a weird 2 days.
It was, yeah. It was. Yeah, I didn't know who I was during that period, dude. You know, it's like sometimes you go through those periods. There we go, Tank Alarm, and we're changing our official name to Tank Alarm.
Nice. I'll allow it. It's great.
Yeah. All right. So there's no possibility that we get through this draft before I have to go on to another stream at 8:30. So just giving you guys a heads up, you might have to close this one out without your boy Coop A Fiasco.
It's okay.
I got to jump like 8:20 or so.
I think we could figure it out.
You guys can hold it down.
We'll know what's going on.
Yeah.
We won't hit end on the stream. It'll just be here.
Inmates will run the asylum.
Yeah. Just let it roll. And then we were supposed to do this in 58 minutes. With Underdog, it's so easy. I mean, they really, with that 30-second clock, like it's kind of perfect for a 1 hour stream. You know what I mean? Because it's almost always, I mean, technically, if you went the full 30 seconds at every pick, you could stretch it to like over an hour. But I don't know, man. They're just right. Shout out Best Ball 10.
Stream of Best Ball 10, trashing them, you know.
Now we do. Thing is, I do like Best Ball 10. There's a lot of formats I like on here, and especially because they're available in multiple states where you can't get on Underdog. Apparently, not Michigan, as we learned. Why this stream was a little late today, so you can't draft in Michigan, but
Florida you can.
Florida you can. Can you guys do Underdog in Florida?
Yeah. Can't do sports books in Florida. Can't.
Yeah, we just got those here, dude. We just got those, and it was like not a single one of my friends was like, "Okay, I'm gonna bet." I wouldn't bet before, but I'm gonna bet now. You know, like. How is Anthony Richardson still available? That's crazy.
I almost picked him last round, but I was like, I can't do it. I already have Tua and Deshaun Watson.
Snipe me again.
I just don't want quarterbacks with hopefully low interception totals.
Yeah, I didn't even see him there. Interesting. I might take my second QB here, dude. Me and John, If you haven't listened to our quarterback podcast on the Quick Out podcast, go listen to it. We just did it this week. I'm going to take a risk here with this player. And
you're too late to the party.
Am I late? Because I just got him. I feel like I'm right on time as far as that goes. Like I did get him right.
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Well, Kev, you're the guy in the Dakotas. You as you said earlier, boots on the ground. You've been campaigning for Trey Lance the entire time. So why don't you take it here, man? Why don't you tell us why you're drafting Trey Lance anytime that I don't draft him, because I just got him. He's mine.
I mean, I really have not drafted that much Trey Lance. I think you can't get out of the way of these.
Before you go real quick, let me just say, this is the one we talked earlier about players that we don't take on underdog that we do take over here. I would consider taking Tyler Boyd on this format. So I like that pick for Hamburglar. I don't really take him on many others because he's low 800, 900 yard guy, but there's a world where he gets enough receptions to crack a bunch of lineups. So I do like that Tyler Boyd pick here, who's on my radar, Hamburglar. All right, Kev, back to you with Trey.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really taken much of him this year. I know I forget who was working with him, but working with him, he's worked with other quarterbacks and says, yeah, it maybe takes a day or two to fix in Trey Lance. Oh, it took 4 days to fix his arm slot, but once they got that working, he's been throwing a lot better. You just can't get out of the way of these guys like Kyle Shanahan, who's like, I feel like he's like a donk in disguise where he doesn't know what he wants to do. John Lynch, obviously. I mean, I cannot imagine them going into the season with Sam Darnold as starting quarterback. I just can't. And obviously Brock Purdy's getting a clear bill of health as the QB1 if he's healthy. So I don't know. I am very anti Brock Purdy just because I don't think we saw enough with him. I mean, he's really been a caretaker. And obviously there's a lot of draft pick capital put into Trey Lance. I think I'm just kind of staying away from that whole hornet's nest altogether. But if there's a guy that I'm going to bet on, physical talent, it's going to be Trey Lance. But he's going low enough in drafts where it's easy to take the shot on him. So,
yeah. Now I will say this: like we talked about rug pulls earlier, Kyle Shanahan is like the rug pull master. Like just when you think it's going to be Trey Sermon, no. It's Elijah Mitchell. And just when you get comfortable with Elijah Mitchell, they're like, nah, CMC, right? So like with the whole quarterback situation, now it's Jimmy Grant, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, and then it's Trey Lance, and now it's Purdy. If it was Sam Darnold, it would not. That would be the least shocking thing. If they were just like, yeah, this is a guy. By the way, everyone else that walked through here was a loser, So like, I don't know, man. Coming from the guy that just took Trey Lance, it does scare me. It does scare me.
Kyle Shanahan has a chance if he wants to, if he just decides like I can do this and just starts Sam Darnold. He has a chance to just go 10-1 with Sam Darnold and just show everybody in the NFL that he is just that good of a guy.
Oh, you think he's the pad in his stats by just saying, "Look at me,
I can do this with anybody. Like anybody back here, I can do this. You guys,
It's like that dude that plays as Jigglypuff on Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
he's like, you give me any character. Yeah, right. Whatever. I'll beat y'all with whatever, dude. It's Scott Frankel seems to love my Trey Lance pick. He says Trey Lance will be one of the biggest busts of the last 20 years. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Bigger bust than Josh Rosen. I mean, come on.
It's so unfair. I hate that. Like with injuries, it's just tough for me to ever look at players and say,
right. He played in a monsoon last year and then he got hurt in the second game. Like, what have we really seen out of Trey Lance?
He's never gotten a chance.
Right. Yeah, I know. That monsoon game.
Should have traded Rand Carthen in the Titans when they had the chance. But
monsoon game against the lowest passing offense Bear team in the last 75 years, more than a decade. Because I think to find a team lower than the Falcons, you have to go back to 2009. But Kev, that Jets team we were talking about, they threw more than the Bears, though, right? I think Bears you have to go back even farther.
I don't even know if they did. I know that was bad.
I think the Jets
09.
The 09 Jets are the closest one, but I think they were actually more than the Bears. I think the Bears you have to go back 2 full decades to find a team.
Yeah.
There's my boy Juwan.
I was thinking about taking him, and I was like, I might be able to get him around later.
Well, the thing is, there's 2 of those guys there that are, to me, kind of similar guys that, basically wide receivers that are playing the slot. I think I gave away who the other guy is, but You know, it's fine. And the thing is, like, I like taking Michael Thomas. I don't know who got him in this draft, but I'll take him. But there's so many people out there that are like, Michael Thomas is going to get hurt. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing about it? Right? Like, you're projecting this injury, which is already crazy. But if that's what you actually believe, how are you leveraging that in your advantage? Because I see the same people saying that, not taking Rashid Shaheed or not taking Juwan Johnson. I'm like, so what? You're going to have this information that you swear by, but you're not going to use it? Like,
make it actionable. Yeah,
make a move, dude. Like, place your bets, dude. Let's go. Come to my house. We will fight. Michael Thomas, read my article on him and tell me that he's gonna tell me how he's gonna get hurt. Because last year it wasn't the ankle, it was the toe. All right, dude. Tony Pollard just had a high ankle sprain to the point where his leg broke, and he had surgery on it, which is what Michael Thomas had. You fading Tony Pollard? I don't think so. I think he went in the second round in this draft. So take a lap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Michael Thomas is the best receiver on his team, which is tough.
Not necessarily, but I think it's Chris Olave as well. But you don't have to be the best wide receiver on your team. Right?
No, he's going at a spot that it's just factored in. I think that people saying the idea of this, I'm not playing this player because he gets hurt all the time. I mean, people were telling me that Jonathan Taylor was going to be better than Christian McCaffrey because
and he had missed the practice
all the time. Like, people get hurt on random occasions. You just there are some guys that have soft tissue injuries like before the year, and you're kind of aware. And once you're aware of it, like, hey, I'm not really getting into this guy. Like, for example, like if Mari Cooper has a foot issue, I am not going to be the Mari Cooper guy. I love Amari Cooper. I hope he has a great season. I hope his foot's fine. But if he has another foot injury season, whatever, I'm going to be very upset.
I'm going to take both the tight ends I wanted to take. How about that? So Voico's in my corner. Trey Lance, comeback player of the year. There we go, dude. Looks like we got some bets that can be made in the chat here. I moved you to the top. I don't know. I was putting comments over your face, dumb comments from Scott Frankel. So I moved. Just kidding, Frankel. I love you, buddy. I moved you to the top, moving myself down where I could be covered with comments.
Nice.
I got your back, dude. Toronto Dave, a Kirby guy in when you guys played Super Smash, and I'm talking about the N64 one. I guess if you want to talk about the other one, you can. That's a good one too. But who did you guys play as when you did play? Who's your go-to?
Big. By the way, Melee.
Ness.
Best one.
You were a Ness player?
I was a Ness player, yeah.
Ness, dude. Ness player. Good. Maybe the most annoying thing in the world is a good Ness player. Like when you play as a Ness player that just like falls off and doesn't know how to use the move to save themselves, then that's the best. But when they're actually good at it, good Ness players and and when I say annoying, that's a positive. That's like a compliment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like, dude, that fire stops you dead. That peak of fire thing. I'm like,
PK fire.
PK fire. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Sam Darnold is Kyle Shanahan's PK fire.
I kind of wait to see who other people pick. If somebody picks Ness, I have to pick Fox because I can't deal with the fire. I can't. I do. My favorite guy to play as is Samus though, or my favorite lady to play as.
I'm a Link.
That's a good
bomb. The bombs in the
yeah. Link is fun, dude.
Shot.
Dude, there's a buddy of mine that was like a professional, like one of the professional Nintendo or Super Smash Bros.
Oh, he's real nice. Oh, that's cool.
No, like top 40 in the state of Florida type thing. Where like
so he would go to like the events and yeah.
Dude, that's fun.
That's sick. Playing against him must suck, but like that's kind of cool though. Going to those big tournaments because those get rowdy, dude. Looks like Scott Frankel's plugged into the news, as we already knew he was. He's taking Jerome Ford. Little smoke today on Jerome Ford. Our own Britt Flynn, or maybe he is Frankel's a fantasy law member as well, so maybe he saw Britt Flynn's article this week where she was shouting out Jerome Ford. But today, the little camp news, you saw that, Jordan?
Yeah. No, I saw that he was getting run with when Chubb was on a rest day. The way that I'm viewing the Browns offense this year is kind of the way that I viewed the Dolphins offense last year, where people saw run game coordinator Mike McDaniel. They're going to run the ball. I saw they traded for Tyreek Hill. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball offense. I didn't know that Mike McDaniel was going to be able to get play calls in because he was just going to go super slow. But overall, I thought they were going to be throwing the ball a lot. With the Browns, they traded 1 million picks for Watson. They traded for Elijah Moore. They drafted Cedric Tillman. They traded for Amari Cooper last year. Anthony Schwartz in the second round. David Bell in the second round. They don't bring back Kareem Hunt. I think this offense is going to throw the ball over 550 times, which they haven't done with Stefanski. Don't know if it's going to be great offense, which is just why I'm so into Amari Cooper, because I think that the pass volume is just going to increase, and Nick Chubb's going to get his normal carries, but that's about it for the running game. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of rushing attack from that Cleveland Browns team.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Jerome Ford, man, this is like the exact smoke you got to avoid right now, dude.
Well,
like,
he's the backup. He is the handcuff, and there's
right.
Contingent.
I don't mind the pick, but it's like it's the smoke. It's the smoke that gets you. You don't want to get moved up too many rounds. Here, I think you could make that move, but there's a few other guys in the same boat. I will say Jerry, another. So Jerry's Coltastic on here. Another snipe. What I've been doing. Because I wrote that article recently on, the uncertainty leading into it in wide receiver rooms. I've been just waiting and taking the cheapest Panther. So I just wait for two of them to go and take whoever's left. So I had DJ Chark penciled, circled. Like DJ Chark was on my team. You did the worst thing you could do, which is force me to think when I was on the clock just now, which I don't like doing. Thielen went, and I was like, there's one. And then coming around just now, Mingo went at the turn. So my mind immediately went, all right, Chark time. And then, boom, sniped. So thank you. Thank you, Jerry.
I wrote a lot. Or I don't even think I published it. Josh had me tasked with kind of what I think the Panthers offense will be. I think I posted about it on Twitter, but
yeah.
The interesting thing with this team is we're not going to be running a lot of vertical routes. We're going to be a lot of crossers. We're going to be a lot of it because Frank Wright and the offensive coordinator from the Rams, that's what the offenses are built on. And it's crazy because Bryce Young threw those routes the best out of anybody in college football the past 2 years. And then DJ Chark hasn't ran it much, but he has been effective when he's been utilized that way. So I'm intrigued to see what I was going to be picking him on the flip. I didn't think that anybody would take him. I was going to pick him over Paris Campbell. I didn't think anybody was going to be taking him on that turn there. So,
Gerald says, thank you for doing this draft. Buddy, jump in with us on Fantasy Alarm if you're not in there. Honestly, Gerald might be one of the guys that whose usernames I don't know. If you're like Hamburger or somebody like that, let us know. But if you're just enjoying the draft watching, then what you got to do is jump in with us on Fantasy Alarm, become a member, use promo code COOP right now. It's there on the bottom. It gets you 6 months at 50% off. And that's Sherry. Oh, nice. That's Coltastic, dude. Dude, you're a jerk for stealing DJ Chark. What the heck? I'm just kidding, Joe. You're the man. But use promo code COOP. It gets you 6 months, 50% off, and you get a 7-day free trial. Get a peek behind the paywall. I'm on the clock. Very cool. CJ Stroud, excellent. That's what I wanted. You get a peek behind the paywall. Get to see if you like hanging out in the Discord. Get to see if you like all the tools and stuff. Honestly, with 7 days, you could get in on next week's draft that we're doing on Underdog with Joey Wright. So it's going to be a blast. We have a good time, man. And our draft guide is going to be coming out early. What we do is we put it out early, probably around June 15th or so, 16th or so. We put the draft guide out, and it's a living draft guide. So you sign up, you pay for the draft guide, you get the articles that come out immediately, and then now you're in the portal, and every time an article drops, you get that. We go and we update the rankings, we update the articles, so that by the time you get to August, you've read a bunch of them, and everything's fully updated. So get in there, let's rock and roll. So on what you were saying before I jumped into a quick advertisement there, Jordan, you think you're going back to the Matt Rule, Teddy Bridgewater, dink and dunk Panthers? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. Although Robbie Anderson and Curtis Samuel were like the mega steals that year. Wide receiver 64 and 66, and they both finished inside the top. They were like back end wide receiver twos. So I didn't hate that, but it wasn't good for DJ Moore running the deep routes, right?
speaking of DJ Moore, I am not in on where he's
Okay.
been going. I don't know.
Me neither, bro. Me neither. And I've been a DJ Moore truther the whole time.
Yeah, no, I love DJ Moore as a player. I think the expectation has gotten out of hand. Like I've seen people call him like the Stephon Diggs to Josh Allen, or like
2 years ago, maybe.
But like Justin Fields just doesn't, like, as I say with Ohio State quarterbacks, he won't put it in tight type of windows. And DJ Moore doesn't get separation at a high level. He's good. He's a very good receiver, but he's not someone that wants to get it done that way. So I don't love the spot. I think they're going to be running the ball. And I also think this is the most competition he's had. Like Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney, I think, are better than Curtis Samuel and Robbie Anderson.
Thank you. I'm drafting a lot of Claypool. Hey, guys, I got to jump. It's been fun. I'm hitting the road. Kev, Jordan, giving you guys the keys to the car. Everybody, Fantasy Alarm family, Hamburger, Jerry, the whole gang. Thank you guys. Frankel, Kangas. I think Kangas slept through the first 6 rounds, but he's here. He's just looking at your team, dude. Kangas, for sure. So I'm going to make this last pick, and I'm going to hit the road. Brucey B, what's up, baby? Thank you guys for coming in, hanging out with us. Been a good time. And we're doing these every week, man. We're doing them all off season. We're going to be so far ahead of everyone else when it comes to ADP, and we're going to make so much goddamn money on these best ball drafts, dude. Probably going to be famous. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, Jordan, for joining us. And make sure you keep that Edge free, or at least give me a free account when you put it behind the paywall, because I need it. All right.
I'll send you the password.
Thank you. Send me the passwords, the coordinates, whatever. All right. So thank you guys. Take it easy.